Hey guys, nice that you're here today. I'm sitting here with Nico. Nico is since 3 years a digital nomad, traveled the world in over 25 countries and built up his own digital market agency during that time. Now he's launching his course Paradise, which is about how to become a successful digital nomad. Nico, thank you so much that you're here today. Let's start with the concept of being a digital nomad. I think most people are familiar with it, but what do you actually think is the concept of a digital nomad?
Well, digital nomad does consist out of two words, which is digital and is nomad. So a digital nomad is somebody that works digitally, like only needs his laptop and Wi-Fi, has an online business, for example, while traveling the world, while having the financial freedom of traveling the world. So somebody that just works online but stays only in his house for home office is not a digital nomad, and somebody that travels around all the time but doesn't work or works locally is an expert but no digital nomad. This is why I see like the differences.
Okay, so let's say for example somebody who's doing a sabbatical year or something. That's not somebody who's actually a digital nomad, right?
No, because like this is timely limited. Somebody that's doing a sabbatical is doing a break. Somebody that's a digital nomad has made the long-term commitment to live while traveling and work at the same time. Yeah.
Long term is a good point. If I remember right, I think you're already like, let's say, on the road since 3 years. Is that
Exactly,
right?
yeah, it's been 3 years right now.
3 years is kind of a while. What's interesting for me is, was that more like a gradual development, or did you just say at one point like, you know, I'm gonna grab my bag and I'm gonna leave this life?
Well, I wasn't born traveling, you know, or born with the lust to travel. But yeah, let's say I started to backpack when I was 18, and I kind of liked the hostel lifestyle. I liked to make new experiences. But actually, I grew up in a 600 people village in the south of Germany, which is like exactly the opposite of that lifestyle I'm having right now. You maybe know what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
it's all about this German predetermined dream, you know, grow up, go to school, perform, write good grades, just to go to university, get a straight 9 to 5 job, make your money, build a house, you know.
But what exactly you mean by predetermined?
Well, predetermined for me means like that kind of everybody pushes you into that, yeah, expectation of life. If it's like your friends, if it's school, if it's society, maybe your parents' house. Yeah, this is how I felt. And I was pretty like straight on that road, like with studying, I performed, had good grades. But yeah, eventually things changed. Not like from one day to the other, but for example, I studied in Hong Kong and for 1 semester. And this was really the first time that I realized that, as many people think, you know, that everywhere in the world things are done as in your home country. People have the same expectation, the same lifestyle. But once you live abroad, you actually realize that everything is exactly the opposite way than it's done in your home country. So, and this was like, for me, like a first small wake-up call, you know, also combined with the fact that we've been traveling every weekend to Vietnam, Myanmar, where I kind of developed or like found this preference of mine to make new experiences. But yeah, after this I came home again, kept on studying, finished my bachelor, got offered a job, which I declined because I wanted to study more. And then, let's say I had this other possibility to study in Taiwan, and there then things changed.
But was that then that, I would say, like radical change that happened after Taiwan, or when did that actually came
in
up?
Taiwan something happened. First time in my life I had this opportunity to really travel without studying, without working. Like, I never had that much free time in my life. There I really had 2 months where I was just on my own. I rented like a motorbike on Borneo, Malaysian side, and just drew off. And this time I really like found this feeling of freedom. Like, I felt it, which I never felt before in my life. And it gave me such a rush that I realized, okay, this is like the feeling, this is the state I've been looking for. And controversially, in the same time, like, I received like a text message from home. Okay, like, enjoy the last 3 weeks of your trip, because like when you get home, it's over and the normal real life is starting. And I don't know, like in this moment, I've been realizing, okay, like what's the real life? What's the normal life? Is it what like society tells me? Is it like sitting in the office 9 to 5, building a house, having a family, or is it actually the life that I'm choosing? You know, isn't that the real life? And obviously it's the latter one, because everybody can choose what he or she wants for his or her life to become. And yeah, in that moment it became clear that I wanted to feel this feeling of freedom again and again. And yeah, this idea in my head was involved, okay, why not living, traveling, right? And I think this was like the big change in my mind, where I knew, okay, where I wanted to go, but I didn't know how to get there yet.
Okay, so was that then after your master's that you worked in the consultancy?
Well, I did get a job offer, but I was bargaining with myself again and declined it, saying, okay, I'm gonna do one last big trip and then I'm gonna start to work, you know. But it wasn't the last big trip, right? And on this trip, which was to South America, my first time actually in South America, I found like the practical solution to my problem of how to financially sustain myself while traveling, because I met this French-Canadian girl, Lola, on the Galapagos Island, and she was the first digital nomad I ever met. And she did exactly what I did, like this working with gastronomy, you know, like social media, but in a normal scale, like 30 hours per week, which is very doable, making a good money. And meeting Lola, seeing like the real life example of a digital nomad, eventually motivated me to say, okay, I'm not gonna work in a consultancy, I'm gonna follow my dream, and I will start this digital marketing agency, which is called Cool Eyes Creatives, which I eventually founded in April 2020 with like full risk and full power in, yeah.
That was during COVID, right?
Well, yeah, I came home and you got it right. Exactly this time, like the gastronomy died, obviously, like every fun thing. And so also my revenue dropped from pocket money to absolutely zero. And so I was in Berlin, didn't have any more money, and I needed to still build it up. And yeah, through some random coincidences, I then started to do online shops, which were like in high demand back then. So I had to do websites. And gradually the business has been rising again, you know, like, but it was not a good money, I have to say. And things came together. I had like, I don't know, maybe an unhappy relationship, maybe like was stuck in Berlin, you know, missing social contact. And at the same point I had this idea, okay, you do all this work right now to build up this remote job, this remote business, and now you're stuck in Berlin. So I started to feel depressed, you know, like I was really not in a good place, and I was like, okay, you have like two options right now. Either you stay there and like surrender to your situation, destiny, or you're gonna change something. And April 2021, so 1 year later, I eventually did that, canceled the flat, like quit my relationship and booked the one-way ticket to Mexico, and the rest is now history.
And is that also then the day you started traveling?
Exactly.
Since that?
Since then, since the 15th of April, I'm constantly on the road, yeah.
But what about the business? I mean, like you started, you said in April 2020, left April 2021. I can imagine you probably had like up and downs. Was it always going well?
Well, man, I was not in a good financial position. Like I had maybe like €1,500, which was okay to have like a backpacker lifestyle in Mexico. So I mean, I had a certain stability, but it was not enough from a business perspective. But interestingly, like really the moment I left, like the following month, the business started to grow, you know? Like new clients came in, and this kind of gave myself the confirmation that working, building a career and traveling is maybe not even opposite, but it's complementary. Like it goes very well together. And looking back like on the last 3 years where my business has been like constantly growing, yeah, I think it's a very good thing to combine.
You said you're traveling now since 3 years, right?
Exactly.
And I can imagine you gained a lot of insights and experience during that time. Now, let's talk about Paradise, the online course. I'm wondering, how did you came up with the idea and then putting this idea into an online course?
Well, I'm pretty active on social media, you know, this is where it kind of started. And I like to post stories, pictures about my travels, and I like when people react to it, although there was like two different like kinds of reaction. Like the one was like kind of shaming, you know, like, oh my God, he's probably using the money from his parents. What the fuck is he even doing? You know, is he never working? Whereas the other side was like, wow, this is amazing what you're doing, you know, like how do you also financially achieve this? How do you sustain yourself while traveling? And I tried to answer in a nice way, you know, like I wanted to give them the insight because I want people to be able to do the same. But yeah, I came very fast to the conclusion that it's just like impossible to do that in short words, maybe in a voice memo or something. No, like being a digital nomad, the concept of a digital nomad first has to be understood. You have to seize the advantages, know the disadvantages, and then also know like this big process of making a business. But due to the fact that I never studied like digital marketing, I really totally was a career changer. I did follow a certain process that actually gave me success. And I tried to like analyze this process. I've been talking to a lot of other digital nomads. I was really like digging into their success concepts, in their tips and tricks, in their experiences, and built this blueprint, this step-by-step blueprint of really how to be a digital nomad, you know, how to build up your business, how to find clients, how to succeed, and how to master this lifestyle exactly.
Paradise. When the first time I heard the name Paradise of your online course, I was wondering, how did you came up with the name? Paradise, I understand, but the D in the end of Paradise is kind of confusing.
Kind of odd, kind of, yeah. I mean, I think it doesn't exist like this in the dictionary, but exactly by that time when I was like in Borneo and I felt like this first time this freedom, you know, like this pure enjoyment of life, I was a big fan of the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you know it?
I know it, but I can't really recall the plot 100%.
In this movie, like Richard, which is acted by Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like it's an adventure seeker, and somehow he finds this like community of 20-30 people which lives like on a remote island in Thailand. And they have like a really nice community, catch their own fish and just are super happy, you know, like, so found like a little paradise, which when you know the plot, like it doesn't really persist a long time, like a lot of shit happens and eventually all people are gonna be thrown back in their normal lives, you know, and the finish scene is when Leo is sitting like in a very dull environment in front of his laptop, and he receives an email, and he receives it from one of the friends of the camp, and it shows these people of the island jumping on the beach like totally happy, and it gives Leo this memory. And like looking at the picture, the movie ends with this quote that really like touched me and inspired me, and it still does. And it says like, I still believe in paradise, but now I know it's not a place that you look for, but it's like a moment in your life, and when you're part of something, and if you find this moment, like it lasts forever. And this idea that paradise is not a place, but like a state of mind, like a feeling, being a part of something, this was exactly how I felt. You know, this is how I felt this time in Borneo, or since I started to be a digital nomad. I really started like feeling like I was in paradise, and I felt this state of paradise, and why not make an adjective out of it? I was paradise, and that's why I gave my course the name.
I love it. I have to give the movie no review.
Absolutely,
good one.
Do it.
Great. So about Paradise itself. So the course is eventually how to make money online.
Well, in the first case, it will also be about like getting the picture of a digital nomad straight. You know, I think there's really wrong imaginations about what a digital nomad actually is and what he does and what he not does. For example, like a lot of people think it's something between a guy sitting with a MacBook in a cafe and a guy just like smoking cigarettes on a hammock in Bali, you know. But it's actually so much more. There's so much like advantages and perks to this lifestyle that people not even realize, you know. So in the first way, I want to show those advantages and show why it is the exciting lifestyle of the future, how you can live an extraordinary life while paying less and earning more, which is like a main concept of the course. And but also show disadvantages to give you a good feeling of what the product is that you're actually buying, you know. Because paradise, then being a digital nomad is not for everybody.
I was thinking then, like, if I look at the people that want to get digital nomads, it probably can be any kind of people, right? But is there any specific kind of group of people that you're kind of recommending or targeting this course to?
Well, as I said from the beginning, like everybody can be a digital nomad, right? It will require a set of soft skills and it will require a set of hard skills. But the good thing is like all the hard skills can be learned as I did. Mostly learned by like YouTube, whatever, you know, and it just goes easy. But the soft skills are way more important. And the major soft skill is that you have to be ambitious. Being a digital nomad, both from the free time side as well as from the business side, requires you to hustle. It requires you to get up, leave your comfort zone, and start to put in time and energy to build up a business. It means you need to take a risk, you know. So if you're not willing to take a risk, being a digital nomad is probably not for you. It's better to work your 30 hours, get your wage, maybe one time do a sabbatical in your life, but definitely not going to be a digital nomad. And that's exactly why I'm concentrating also on this motivation, which are like the first 2 chapters, which really tell you in detail what is the product you're buying. Like, what does it mean to be a digital nomad? What are the advantages, which are huge in my eyes? Like, right now, if you tell you all of them, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, it makes life way easier. But on the other side, also disadvantages. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will not be like in the position or also like in the mindset of leaving their comfort zone that much, and they can stop at that point. Like, the course is not for them.
What exactly is actually waiting on a content side for the person who's going to start the course?
Well, as I said, it's like step by step. It's a blueprint so that everybody can like approach it and follow the guideline. But this also means like I'm not gonna give you like an in-depth explanation about how to execute your specialization. I will tell you how big digital marketing is, how many specializations there are, what are the most suitable ones, what are the most easiest to learn, what are like the ones with the biggest margins, what are the ones with the biggest future chances. But in the end, you have the choice to decide which one you like best. And once you did that, I'm gonna show you how to learn this the fastest. I'm not gonna show you the matter of what exactly to learn. There's other courses that can do that better and just give a more detailed view, because if I would pack it in my course, it's gonna be like 200 hours plus, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna give this broad view and to meet your individuality, to tell you, okay, this is the specialization there are, and you choose which one you like best.
So it's rather broad than going in-depth skills.
Exactly. But I'm also giving like a view on the business side. And this is, I think, where it really gets practical. And these are like some secret tips, you know, that I had to learn the hard way, which took me a lot of time, like finding out what are the platforms to find your clients, for example. What's like the best application text, how really a portfolio has to look, what others do better and where I'm already performing good. And this I really pack into this course the most practical way, and you can follow it step by step, from finding your niche, finding your specialization, learning your skills, finding your clients, getting your first payment, make out of your payments like retainers, and yeah, eventually how to streamline your business, you know, like how to scale it while working less yourself but getting more and more money. Yeah.
Is that then also like kind of a magical formula on how to make money online?
Magical formula sounds good. This is what other coaches are promising you. No, I'm gonna give you the tools how to find the success your own way. You know, I'm gonna show you from the business side how it's gonna work, but there's nothing like get rich overnight. No, you have to work hard in it, and you really have to invest time to acquire the skill set, to go through the course, and to applicate my tips while you're actually learning them in practice.
Sure, understand. But then, let's say if I start learning and if I, do the course, by when could I then actually expect success? Like when could you say you're ready to, grab your bags and leave to Mexico?
Well, it's definitely not overnight. And I have to say it's also not within 1 month. Because although the course has so much content, and also you have to put it in practice. And this will take time. Like, I would not start your business until you're not 100% sure that you can do it, you know? Like I always say, if you open up a pizzeria and your pizza doesn't taste good, you won't have success, right? So I would say if you have like 2 hours per day to invest, one time during the course, then you have to learn all the skills over like a different platform that I'm going to recommend you. And then you have to do all the formalities, leaving your home country, registering a business, finding clients, and having really first paychecks, and then also feeling like stable enough to leave. It's gonna take a while. I would say it's gonna be like 6 months, and then you're good to go. And then like this investment of just 6 months will open you like this total new life that you're looking for.
And I'm sure your knowledge and insights on that will save us a lot of time and pitfalls, right?
Well, definitely. Like for me, it was like 2 years until I eventually came to a point where I said, okay, I feel financially confident and I have this freedom in mean time and place that I was looking for. And I think with the course, we can reduce this by 75%, yeah.
Now, if I think about my own situation, and maybe that's also the situation of many others.
Yeah.
I'm still in like a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
What would you say, like, is that possible to do it while I'm still working on a full-time scale?
I would say, like, first of all, as you say, a lot of people develop this need of like wanting to live freely to their unsatisfaction in their job. And on the other side, few people will have the financial luxury to really say, okay, I totally commit on learning digital marketing to get into the course, to get into paradise. So yeah, most people will do it besides their actual job, but good news for you, like 1 to 2 hours per day are enough. Like it's totally agreeable with having like a main job. It's less important that you really like push through hardcore, like 8 hours per day, 10 hours, work through the nights. It's more important that you make a constant effort, that you get momentum and that you keep your momentum, because this will bring you way faster to your goal. And this you have to keep in mind, you know, like every day, a little bit, step by step, see some results along the way, set some milestones, and yeah, you'll see you will make faster success than you think.
And a part of that, like, would you say, is there any other thing you would recommend to our future nomads to, you know, get the most out of the course?
Well, I think it's very important, as it's like a practically orientated course, to really put things into practice right away. That means like you learn something, you know which platform you need to find your clients, do so and search for the first clients at the same time. Like not let too much time waste between learning and putting it to practice, which has again a lot to do with like this momentum I'm talking about. Like really be constant, be permanent, and try to applicate the things you've learned right away. Exactly, because this is also the orientation, you know, practical, success proven. And on the other side, I think it's very important to like teach, like learning by teaching, you know, like tell others what you learned, you know, and you will get a deeper understanding of what you actually read. And I think with those steps, you can get like results pretty quick.
Looking on your career right now, right, like a lot of people that start a job most probably would like to be where you're right now. What would be like the main ingredient, so to say, when you look back on your career until now, that you would say that helped me a lot, that made me very successful, so to say?
Well, I think I always try to go the extra mile, you know, like a lot of freelancers, a lot of workers will just like deliver their job and that's it. And I always gave my clients the feeling, okay, how to optimize, even like going beyond the problem they had, you know, just like optimizing the whole structure, really present customized, tailor-made solutions. And this was really valued, so they gave me more and more contacts within their company with other business partners, and that let me eventually grow. And another thing is, I think, was like that I always enter from a rational side, you know, I always try to like calculate my margins and say, okay, if I want to have this lifestyle, if I want to travel like freely, I need this amount of money, and I charged it and people eventually paid it. But I knew how much it has to be, you know. Like a lot of people don't really get into the mathematics because they just don't have a hand for it. But this is, I really recommend to everybody, plan your business, make budgets, and therefore adapt your like hourly salaries or project fees.
You already mentioned lifestyle. What do you think is like the most precious part of actually being a digital nomad for you?
Well, the most obvious will be like, okay, you can travel everywhere, you know, you can see all those countries in the world. But a lot of people think you have to travel. But the fact is, like, you don't have to travel. No, but you have the freedom to do so, and you have also the freedom to stay. Like, it was only in the last year that I realized that this is, like, for me, the core essence. This freedom of every day deciding whether I want to stay or I want to leave, you know? And I think this is a luxury good that few people have at this moment in their life, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then maybe on the other hand, any mistakes that you made in the past where you want to share?
Well, there's been for sure a lot, but like the biggest mistake was that I didn't start earlier to be a digital nomad.
All right, I saw that one coming. Then maybe from my side, I don't have any more questions, but I would like to know from your side if there's anything more you want to share with the people.
What I want to say is, like, if you feel unhappy in your job, like, change something. Nobody has to really stay in their 9-to-5 environment. Really change something, make the first step, go out of your door, and the things will happen, like, in your way, you know, like they did for me. And it's always worth to take the risk. Just this first step has to be made, and I think paradise is a very good one.
Nico, great ending words. Thank you so much for your time.
Very welcome. Thank you.